All right. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a good day. Loki saw something, or Loki just excited to see you guys here today. Well, Loki, see that. Well, I'm not going to force it out of your mouth, but I'm going to ignore you. Yeah, then he says, sorry, I'll let me have it. Oh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Hey everybody, this is round 2 today. Bitcoin got worse since we actually were talking back earlier in the afternoon. So let's talk about what's going on here, the next level of support and things like that. So far we are just in a pretty much of a, I won't say the word just yet because YouTube will get mad at me if I say it within the first like 30 seconds to like a minute. But we're not in a good spot, right? So happy to see you both, GT and Island Time. Haven't seen you guys. Well, I've seen you guys pretty recently, actually. Happy to have you back. Hey, Isaac. Good evening, my man. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's, gosh, this day has been kind of wild here. Good. The fun stuff today was there was snow where I live, so I took Loki out and he got to play in the snow. That was really nice. But Bitcoin, man, Bitcoin was getting slammed from a whole bunch of different reasons. I'll kind of elaborate on what's going on with Bitcoin in the market overall. And then it's kind of some of the same stuff we've heard about. And then we'll just be going on to our support levels, resistance levels, and things like that. Right now, it's definitely possible that Bitcoin drops down another 5% tomorrow, during today's day candle. We're trying to see if we can find some support, but at this moment in time, we're just not finding those good levels at all right now. Are these priced in right? Let me just double check chart. Okay. They are. All right, so let's just back up for a second here. We know this week was wild because the spot Bitcoin ETF, a lot of good news there. In fact, if you guys go on CNBC's website right now, you're going to see a huge freaking custom banner on there for Grayscale, and they're basically wanting you to invest your money with them, yada, yada, yada. But you could already see a lot of money has been flowing in there. It's been very good news for the crypto markets at this point. And I believe it'll only get better over time. You might see a slump over the next few months or something like that after like the peak here. But then, eventually it'll pick back up as people feel more confident about it. There is some drama right now around Vanguard and Vanguard taking the products off of their website. I don't think that's terrible. I don't think that's crazy. They've been pretty anti-crypto for a while. They'll be dragged kicking and screaming into the new world. It's just bound to happen. But for now, Vanguard's going to lose some customers, or people are just going to not close their accounts, but more likely just move money from one account to the other so they can have more exposure to cryptocurrencies because they know cryptocurrency's been outpacing everything over the last decade or so. So going back to this week, we had the crazy debacle with the SEC being embarrassed by posting stuff too early, also having their account hacked, a whole bunch of messiness. That was the first thing in this saga. Next up, yesterday we did have the CPI data come out. It was not good. Was it even yesterday or was it the day before yesterday? I feel like it was yesterday, right? That was not good, and that inflation was too hot, way hotter than expected. The numbers aren't going to be like massive, but we were expecting like 3.1, 3.2. It was at 3.4, so we had the uptick again. That's never good when it comes to Bitcoin and other assets in the market. That's the second or third part here. The last part really is just war in Yemen that's getting kicked off. It's kind of in a weird spot because this war in Yemen, this Yemen thing, it does cause a few problems. The first one is it adds to uncertainty. I think we talked about that before. But just because Yemen has been getting, Yemen and the Houthi rebels, whatever you call them, they've been messing with so much of the global trade. That global trade will have it'll have bad impacts on prices around the world. That will start to raise inflation again. And when I say raise inflation, I'm not talking about going like we're at 3.4 right now. I'm not talking about going up to 4 or 5 or 6 or anything like that. But it may tick us up to 3.6, 3.7, or maybe just 3.5, 3.6, when otherwise we would have been back at 3.1 or even 2.9 or even 3, right? That's what's going on right now. Let me pull up some documents on this just so we can kind of have a grasp of what's going on as we kind of wait to see if Bitcoin's going to tiptoe down again. See if I can find a good article. All right, here's an article from Transport Topics. I've never used them before, but websites like these tend to be a lot better for me than going through CNBC or Fox Business or CNN or MSNBC or I don't know, CBS. I don't know. These are much more interesting to read. So basically, there's only a few things I wanted to talk about here, but basically, yeah, Red Sea importance. They've already highlighted it for me. How awesome is that? All right. The Red Sea has the Suez Canal at its northern end and the narrow Bab el-Mandeb Strait at the southern end, leading into the Gulf of Aden. Aden? I can't pronounce this, I'm sorry. It's a busy waterway with ships traversing the Suez Canal to bring goods between Asia and Europe and beyond. In fact, 40% of Asia-Europe trade normally goes through the area, including huge amounts of oil and diesel fuel for imports dependent Europe. All right? So you can expect Europe, their inflation might tick up because of this, but 40% of all the Europe-Asia travel goes right through there. That's a big concern. And as you guys know, we are having elections across the world over the next couple of years. It's going to be a big deal. If the economy sucks, it usually doesn't bode well for the people in power. And the people in power right now are obviously, like always, desperate to keep their power. One of the reasons I think Biden and a lot of the allies here had to be a little bit more forceful when it comes to Yemen. Biden obviously doesn't want inflation to be going up into an election year. I think that's obvious. And he doesn't want to lose the election to Donald Trump. I think that's even more obvious here. And they're going to try to do whatever they can to restore normal order. And if that requires a little bit of a heavy-handed approach with some, just bombs, I mean, so be it. If you're a politician, you're looking at the situation, bombs are a lot easier, a lot quicker than trying to go and negotiate what's going on between Gaza and Israel. It's just the way the world kind of works at this point. A few other things here. How it's affecting trade. Huge shipping container companies are avoiding the Red Sea and sending their ships around Africa and the Cape of Good Hope. So, maps Africa. I know this is like textbook geometry. But if you're bringing goods from China over here and you just want to send them all the way around India into the Gulf of Aden, all the way through here to Europe, it takes a long time, but it's there, right? Well, because of this, you got to go all the way around Africa, all the way around, and then you get to Europe. I'm sure you guys understand how that's going to cost more fuel, so fuel might go up a little bit, how it's just going to be more expensive, and that means goods crossing from here to there are going to be more expensive overall, and how it's just a hassle because now there's not as many ships able to take stuff across the sea as fast. Remember, you go through here, you get through here, shipping time is much faster, more goods are being transported back and forth, back and forth. All right, we go this way, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up. It's a much slower process. Now, as far as America, we're going to deal with this a little bit, but it's going to be more of shockwaves of what's happening over here. It's going to be a little bit different for us, but Europe, our allies, so to speak, they're going to be feeling the brunt of this, and this is just more of a huge nuisance. France has elections coming up. England, I don't know, they have their crazy snap elections and stuff like that. Germany, Netherlands, I think Netherlands actually already had their election, so a lot of interesting stuff going on, but this is going to have a huge impact on shipping and things of the like, okay? The number of containers passing through the Red Sea fell by more than nearly half in December to around 200,000 from 500,000. That's a 66% lower than pre-pandemic 2017 to 2019 average. Does that show you how many less ships are kind of going through the area? Now, those ships are still going, but they're going the very, very long way. And of course, you guys know that just takes a lot more time. I wonder if they actually tell you the time in here. Let's see. The cost of a standard 40-foot container from China to Northern Europe has jumped from $1,500 to $4,000. That's like rent prices, basically, over the past few years. But it is still far from the $14,000 seen during the pandemic. That makes sense. But basically, you can see $1,500 to $1,400, that price gets passed on to you, the consumer. It only led to a 1.3% decline in world trade in December, reflecting goods stuck at ship rather than being offloaded at ports. That's good, I would actually say. That means the ports are still doing their job and things like that. Crude prices have risen about 4% on the news about the airstrikes. I think it has actually come back down since then, last time I checked. And so that's good news there. And then you see the global response about the airstrikes and stuff like that. So we're just kind of in this weird spot. As far as Bitcoin is right now, I took an opportunity. It was a baby trade here because I was kind of skeptical and scared as hell because of this drop. Well, I wouldn't say scared as hell, but you get what I'm saying. I was hoping we might get back up here to 44,400. Nope, I bought down here, it crashed, or not it crashed, it dipped, and then we just kind of kept on crashing back down here. So now, this is your second opportunity to buy into Bitcoin if you guys want. I think it's an okay one, but I'm just not taking the chance at this point. I didn't really lose a lot of money. I specifically did a lower leverage position just because there was a higher risk there. But now what you're looking at is not necessarily this 15-minute chart that we're looking at. We're looking at the 4-hour chart where we've already broken down below the 200 moving average. We're at an order block right now. Normally we like to bounce off of these. We'll see if we can do it again. But more importantly, on the daily chart, we are hovering above the 50-day moving average. We might be able to pop back up. If so, we're going to have a really good day. And the same thing I said earlier, today's either going to be a very, very good day or a very, very bad day. If it's a very bad day, we're probably dropping below, well below $42,000, probably heading to like 40,300 or so over the next couple days. So just be aware of that. It's going to be a little bit of a shit show. But bulls may have one more opportunity to pop this up. That's what today's really all going to be about. You can see that we're looking more at a death cross on the daily moving averages here. MACD just turned bearish. Stochastic is bearish. RSI is bearish. We have the change of character. This is not where I'm going to be buying for a swing trade here. Maybe if we get lucky and we have some type of whiplash effect out of nowhere, maybe I'm more optimistic. But right now, hands off of buying. When I've been pretty pro buying over the last few weeks, as you guys might imagine. I'll be doing some day trades to see where we can go next, but it's kind of spooked out of this market here as the world is kind of having its issues. Normally, if it was just a major crash, again, you guys see me trade those all the time, but the fact that we did have higher inflation and whatever this higher inflation and this Yemen stuff, it does make it just a little bit more challenging to trade, in my opinion here. Let's go back over to X. Am I signed in? Okay, sweet. Any new news here? Oh. No, there's anything related to this right now. 2 hours ago, Vanguard removes Bitcoin futures ETF from its platform. Digital gold, so nothing really new here. Let me just see if there's any new news. I don't see any new news. Why is it showing me this guy too much? I don't know who Hinkle is. Matt Wallace is a Dogecoin streamer that went nuts and he went all political. Well, that's a pretty good picture right there. There's not much about the war besides the protest here. Rand Paul. If I know him, he's pissed off that we're wasting money bombing. But yeah, so that's kind of where we sit right now. If you want to be very bullish on this market, you're pretty much buying right here off the 50. I would say, even though I'm spooked about buying, I would still say today we're looking at more of a bullish move, especially since we came crashing down until the end of the day, into the candle bars day, so to speak. But yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts. This is going to be pretty much a chill stream today, not too much stress here. Most altcoins are kind of bumping off support levels themselves. We'll see if we're just having a short-term bump for a few hours or if we're going to continue to dump. Same thing as always though with the stop losses, just protect yourself. You take a look at Ape, it looks fine right now, bumping off a support level. Ethereum, can we go back over here? A few hours ago. Remember how we were talking about how it was going to flush? Yeah, it flushed. It definitely flushed on us. It's found a level of support. It's going to try to break back out here. That's interesting. On the 1 hour chart, you're starting to see those death crosses. The daily charts here, still bullish because we had the big move a few days ago. So that may lead to something fun. But yeah, you're definitely watching some just some kind of crazy moves here. A little bit more of an aggressive move right now over the past like 10-15 minutes, but again, it's nothing compared to like the drop that we sustained today. So let me get rid of this article right here. It's blocking all of you guys' comments. NA layer Regeneron new all-time high 952. I still think it's cheap. What do you call looks like it's been moving up for quite a bit of time now too. Anytime you break it through new highs, it keeps on going, and once it flushes, it'll come back down. But until that happens, ride that wave. NA Trav, you just jumped back in, dude. I know when I saw that stop loss, or that my stop loss hit, I was like, that sucks. What do you call? Hopefully this time is a little bit easier. At least you're bouncing off the 50-day moving average on top of it. That may make it a little bit easier. But no matter what, it's either going to go up a lot or down a lot just because of the nature where we are compared to the other technicals and moving averages. No more hikes in my opinion. It's election year. No, we're not going to have any hikes. What's his name? Jerome Powell. He does not. He is getting heavily influenced right now from the Biden administration. They don't want to fuck with the economy any more than it's already kind of fucked. This is not like a conspiracy type of thing, but it's just like, if you put yourself into Joe Biden's shoes for a second, the way he thinks about the world is fundamentally different than Donald Trump. He believes Donald Trump is a danger to democracy, a danger to the country, yada yada yada. Okay, now you're gonna do whatever you think is necessary to protect democracy. Now, may you do something that you may think is unsavory to protect democracy? Yeah, I mean, like if you think that Trump will destroy America, what do you do to stop the destruction of America? That's the mindset I think you have to have when you're talking about politics and what's going on in this world right now. This goes, stuff in. I'm keep on thinking Europe, but it's not Europe. The Middle East. And so he's putting a lot of pressure on the Federal Reserve to not hike more, to just don't do anything else. It's just the faster you cut rates, the better. That's kind of the way he's thinking about this right now. And fine, let him do what he's gonna do. There's a lot of pressure on there. Trump doesn't want him to raise rates anymore too. Trump wants to have a pretty smooth economy when he comes in, so he can he doesn't want to build up a torn down economy. It's a pretty shitty job to do. Ask Obama in 2008, 2012. He was not good at building back the economy, so they had that huge red wave election. It's a problem. It's a hassle. It's just very, very annoying, right? So that's one big point there. Jerome Powell is a pretty practical guy. I would just say he's a pretty practical guy, okay? He understands what he has to do to climb to the top. He just wants to sit there for a while and see if he can fix inflation. He will raise rates if he's forced to, but he'll leave it to the very last minute until something is breaking. Do you guys remember transitory? He did not want to raise rates. He did not. And that's why he said, it's transitory inflation. It'll come back down. Don't worry about it. But when things got out of control, he had to play catch up. If things get out of control, he will play catch up again. But there's not a strong chance of things getting out of control this time. I really doubt things get out of control. It would have to be some type of another war, or inflation really starts to peak back up like we've seen in the past, like the 70s and things like that. We're not there yet. We'll patiently wait and see. But if we're starting to see inflation come back to 5, 6, 7 percent type of numbers, it wouldn't happen until at least late summer. We'd have to plateau for a while, and then we're spiking back up. That's what would have to happen here at this point in time. But yeah, I don't think any more rate hikes at this point. Do I think Bitcoin ETF options call or short options call is coming soon? I mean, they might, but it's going to take some time, and there's probably going to be some loss. It's just going to take some time. That's basically it. It's going to take some time. People may want to trade options on Bitcoin markets, but man, they're going to be volatile, and you're going to have to try to go to whatever ETF is having the best volume. That way there's an easy way to get in and out of the position. That way you're not looking at a really crazy spread. If the spread gets too high in options market, nobody will trade it, and it'll just be a death sentence for it. So you got to be very careful about those, especially at a new time. Hey, Carl, how about a short? You could short right now because the daily chart's looking pretty rough. Usually in these types of environments, we do have a pop-off of some type, but right now with the war, it's kind of a coin toss in my opinion. The technicals would say we're going down. Short-term technicals look like we might have a little bit of a pump before that move down, but we're right below a 20-day moving average, and we're right above a 50-day moving average. We're basically about to get squeezed either today, most likely today's candle, or tomorrow's candle at the small chance, but still a chance. And we're either going to pop and have a pretty substantial, like plus $1,000 day, or we're going to be going down minus 1,000 today. So it's going to be a pretty big move. Usually when you're opening shorts up, you're going to be opening shorts like right now. After you find a bottom, you kind of relax a little bit more. A lower high, basically. Lower high. And then you short that sucker down. You could very well do that. Your stop loss would probably be around 44,100, 44,200 or so. But you know, that's pretty much the option you have here. Daily chart right on top of the 50. You're looking to see a pop right there. The hourly charts are mixed. What is this? The stochastic's coming positive. The MACD still negative, but the momentum slowing, and the RSI's almost turned positive, but it might take another hour to 2 hours. Maybe even 1 hour, since we only have 9 minutes until this candle closes. But you see how we're making these lower highs now? It's just not the best circumstance. But if you wanted to, you could be shorting here, expecting this to break down. The 4-hour chart is still bearish. That's still good for you if you wanted to short. The daily chart had just turned bearish. That's still good. On top of that, we do have a change of character right here because we did break down below this. So yeah, you could be looking for that. It's just that when I try to short for extended periods of time beyond day trading, again, day trading is fine for shorting, do it all you want. But swing trading, it's just become much more difficult because every time we've had these crashes, we've managed to just spike back up, which has been very, very, very annoying. I think I showed you a 15-minute chart before, but you look at the hourly chart, you know, we've had our fair share of crashes over, you can just call them big drops or crashes, whatever. But we've had our fair share here, and then they've always managed to pop back up. So that's my main concern right now, why I'm not shorting. But I think if you wanted to day trade, you'd be okay with that. You're pretty much just hoping that we don't go up at all right now, though. Because right now we're slowing down a little bit, just like we did over here. You're expecting something like that to happen. On the 5-minute chart, we had the sell signal back over here. You saw everything hitting off. Right now, we're actually looking at more bullish signals popping up here, so it's a little bit different. There was no real multiple sell signals over here. 15-minute chart, it's more mixed, I would say, so nothing really poking you there. 1-hour chart, more mixed with the possibility of going bullish here in the next few hours. But maybe on the short term here, if you get everything set up, it could be a nice short. Right now, though, if you're shorting, you might expect it to maybe even come back up a little bit more and then come down if that's the way you want to play it. But it's still a high risk play no matter what you're going to do here. It's going to be very, 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 very risky. But no matter what, you could go long and short right here, have a stop loss for both, and just watch one to really make you money. That would make you more money than if you just did it alone. That came out wrong. Don't worry about it. Good evening, Bradford. Happy to see you back. Got back into UCO 2X Bull Crude ETF, ready for the summer. What do you call it? It's been interesting to watch oil. I thought I was gonna like sell off a lot more oil stocks. I really didn't sell off as much as I thought. PXD has still been going strong. Exxon is still going strong. You know, the Schlumberger has still been doing okay for me. And even with oil prices coming back down, they haven't really been causing me any issues or, any worries at all. Here's oil prices. We've been coming down all the way since, September? If I go look at my oil stocks right here, my favorite PXD, right? September is back over here. It's kind of just been going sideways, and we've had a few opportunities to break down, haven't we? And we haven't done it. Where's Schlumberger? There's Schlumberger's come back down, but I'm not mad at this. It's still been, relatively fine. And we've even bottomed out over here with a possibility of a double bottom. it's been fun. I've really been expecting us to come down a lot more, and we just haven't, you know, relative to what oil is doing. So all this uncertainty in the Middle East, people feeling like they need to go back to oil and stuff like that. It's been kind of crazy to watch everything plan out. We even made some lows over here when it came to Exxon. But look at this. Exxon's still doing fine. I mean, I know it's at the bottom of this channel here. In fact, it even broke down a little bit, but if I adjust that for that, it's still kind of around that same channel here. I might have to move this up a little bit too. But we're basically channeling. I'm slowly, I'm keeping track of it. Not every day, but I keep track of it. The weekly charts have been much better for me on these ones. Patiently waiting, watching. We had a death cross here. We almost had a golden cross. This has been bearish for a while, but now it looks like they may turn back bullish in like a month or something. Oh, may see gas prices start to go back up. That's never a fun thing. But that's all, that's all Middle East war stuff. It has a huge effect, a massive effect on the economy. What do you think about Tesla still down or time for calls? It might have a little bit more juice left in it, but right now, where's that 1 hour chart? You could probably buy some tomorrow for a day trade. It looks like it's turning green. You might need it to break back above 220 basically before taking that shot. Might hold it for a couple hours and see where it goes. The daily chart, oh, the daily chart, it's getting hit hard. I know there was some news today. Look at that bad breakout right there as far as Tesla's concerned. Not a good breakout. I know there was some news today or yesterday about Hertz selling off a large portion of their Tesla fleet. That may have a negative impact on Tesla. I don't think it'll have a crazy impact because they're not new Teslas. I believe they all have like 80, 90,000 miles on them. And from what I understand about Teslas, you want to buy them new. You don't want to buy them used because there's so many more issues like a battery going out or like, tires blowing up, which I heard are like just very expensive things to fix, right? So I would not be buying a used Tesla. I'd be buying a new Tesla, or I'd be leasing a Tesla, something like that. As I look at Tesla right now, it doesn't look too good. You might look at it maybe over the next few days to see if it can bounce off this order block. Everything is bearish as far as technicals are concerned. The sell signal for Tesla came out a few days ago, way over here. I guess the change of character happened right here. It's been going down ever since. Maybe if there's a rebound, you might be able to short that rebound, but weekly chart's just turning bearish this week, so that's not good news. Is there a hidden downtrend that I'm not paying attention to? There we go. Oh, I see me uptrend. So yeah, it might be able to pop off here, which would be nice. But yeah, the death cross, it didn't do nothing. Didn't do anything here. Oh, this is an open one. I hate this shape. I hate it with a passion. Yeah, because then we had that break. Yeah, that break, it didn't do anything. Yeah, this doesn't look good to me. I'm not particularly good at trading Tesla, though, so. Right now, you're looking a lot more bearish over the next few weeks, though. Kind of matching up with what we've been talking about inflation, though, so. I'd be much more in the put camp. Next few days, though, you have an opportunity to get a little bit of a hiatus tomorrow, so maybe tomorrow might be worth doing some day trading on calls. 15-minute chart, how's it look? You had a buy signal right here. It pumped up a little bit. That's nice. Dumped right afterwards. So yeah, you're in and out in these types of plays, unfortunately. Got more bullish over here. It's still bullish over here. Okay, so there's a buy signal at 15. A buy signal that is, yeah, buy signal at the 1 hour. Yeah. A couple hours of holding, nothing crazy. 2 hours still bearish. 4 hours still bearish. Daily still bearish. Weekly's turning bearish. So short term, you might have some luck there. The rest of it doesn't look all too good at all. How do I make this look a little bit nice? Let me shrink the MACD, shrink the stochastic a little bit. That might, yeah, I think that works out a little bit better. Jerome should have Volcker hiked and we'd been building up now and rate cuts would already be here and we would have avoided creating a mass debt bubble that will burst and kill US demand. I mean, yeah, but it's too late for that now. I mean, last year I was like, I'll say screaming, but I was just like, dude, like he needs to go much faster, much higher and really really fix it fast. He didn't go aggressive when it came to rate hikes, not at all. It in relative terms, you can say he went aggressive, but for the threat that the inflation faced, he did not really go fast enough. And it's because there was so much stuff going on over the past few years, and they had to lie about different stuff, right? The one thing that I'll die on this hill is that the government, the media, everybody lied to us about the recession that we saw in 2022. So much to the point where I actually bought it myself after fighting it for a while. I was like, okay, maybe there's not a recession, because I don't want to be that YouTuber that's so far out of the mainstream where people are gonna, like, everyday people that consume mass amounts of media are gonna be like, dude, that guy is not like that guy. He is saying what MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. He's saying all of them are not telling the truth, right? And so it's like I try not to be that guy. And also, I still have a phobia of YouTube shutting down my channel if I ever get too far out of the mainstream. They've shut down my channel before, not because of anything political, but it spooks me. It spooks me, let's just say. So I'm not some brave I'm not some brave soul that's like venturing out and, like, you know, poking the bear, so to speak. But we did have the negative 2 quarters of GDP constriction in 2022. That is the definition of a recession, which kind of shows off the huge rally we saw at the end of 2022 going into 2023. We have those nice rallies after a recession. And so that's why I didn't buy as much as I wanted to during that little boom that we had last year, and somewhat a little bit this year, not really a lot, right? But yeah, it's been a struggle. Let me show you what I'm talking about here, though. I've gone into depth about it before. Basically, they changed the definition of a recession on Investopedia, which I like a lot, not as much. They changed the definition of what it meant. A recession on on a Wikipedia drives you nuts. It really drives you nuts, and that gets my head turned. Like, what the heck is going on if they all change at the same time? There we go. Over here, right? -2, -0.6, right? And we had a really good one last time, right? So it's not like it's like, I believe the numbers they're giving out here, but that was a recession right there. If you would have bought in January or February, well, let's see if you would have bought in September of 2022 for any asset out there. September was right here on Bitcoin. September of 2022. Oh, wait, no, I'm totally different thing. September for Bitcoin was right here. Actually, if we didn't have the FTX crash, that might have actually been a Bitcoin bottom. We'll leave that for another day, though. That's just September of 2022 over here. Not the bottom. This was October. September 2022, November, probably something similar over here. Right over here, not the bottom, but pretty close. You know, that kind of makes sense there. And then you saw this huge rally take off afterwards. But yeah, it was just a weird time to be alive here. I'm so skeptical of everything the news tells me nowadays. Where I take some news out, you know, and I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. But the reason why it's happening, I just don't believe whatever I'm told. I try to, like, I don't fill in the blanks by myself necessarily, but I just know there's probably more going on here there's more than we're being told. Maybe that's an easy way to say it. But yeah, let's go over here. Tesla shut down Berlin factory because of Houthis, and by now sells more EVs than Tesla. BYD now sells more EVs than Tesla. What is BYD? I mean, I probably know it, but I'm not understanding that. BYD? No, I don't really know much about this company at all. BYB. Hopefully they can catch up to Tesla then with the AI. I think the AI is really the thing holding up Tesla right now because of the Tesla bot, Tesla AI, and then also the Tesla cars. If there's a company that can reach up to Tesla and those other two things, I think they'd be a contender. But yeah, I did hear about that Berlin shutdown. I think they shut it down for like 2 weeks because of the Houthis. It's I don't know, we probably should have bombed them a lot faster, but like it's almost like it sucks that we have to bomb them because we shouldn't be in this position in the first place. You know what I mean? But now that we're here, it's going to be it's like a no-win situation to get out of it. Nobody's going to come out looking good and rosy. Everybody's going to come out looking like shit, or actually in shit, because they may come out looking nice, but they're just going to be decimated. Like right now, I think I see a lot of sympathy on X and a lot of sympathy on TikTok for Gaza. Yeah, Gaza, yeah, versus Israel. But, you know, all that sympathy does really nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they launched an invasion. They got to pay for that invasion, so to speak. But now that they're paying for the invasion, they get a lot of sympathy, but that sympathy doesn't really do much. That poor family, you know, struggling with no water, no food, and stuff like that, because there's a terrorist organization leading their country. There's no good way for the Gazans. There's no good way for Israel. Netanyahu's going to be kicked out as prime minister here pretty soon. I guarantee it. Give it a few months, he's out. Well, once the war's over. I don't know how long he can stretch that war, but he's going to be out. Biden, he may be in, may be out. I've always been kind of confused about what is going to be the repercussions for Joe Biden when it comes to this type of stuff. This is not crypto related, so sorry for the tangent. But like, I have a lot of friends who are very conservative and very liberal. They are saying right now that Joe Biden is such a horrible person. One of my friends called him Genocide Joe, right? Because he supports Israel. Doesn't matter if you believe him or not. It does not matter. But like, he's saying that he won't vote for Joe Biden in the election in 2024. But if they don't vote for Joe Biden, that means that Trump becomes president. Isn't Joe Biden still the lesser of two evils from that viewpoint? You know what I mean? So it's going to be a chaotic time here. But I don't know if people that don't like Joe Biden because he's supporting the Israel war, I don't know if they're actually going to stick with him or just push him out. Not push him out, but let's just say, hey, I don't like you anymore. What happens there? I don't know. I know there's only one other liberal running right now. I think his name is Dean Phillips. I think we got Kennedy. It's just this election is gonna be so crazy to watch. Let's just leave it. It's gonna be crazy to watch. But I don't know how they fix all this stuff, because the world is not in a good spot right now. I think in 2008, you know, we had the wars and stuff like that. I think 2014 things started to cool down a little bit with under Obama. Trump came in, things cooled off quite a bit. Joe Biden comes in, things just fucking heat up like crazy. I don't think it's necessarily just his fault, but I just think it's a little bit of bad timing and not she's not showing as much strength. And I think there's that feeling that like the American empire is in a deterioration period. I wouldn't say America is going to collapse or anything like that. I just think there's this understanding, like, you know how like Rome goes, or any empire, they go through some troubled times on the whole span of their life. They go through the troubled times. It feels like America is heading into some bad troubled times. But I think we're still going to be okay because we still pour tons of money into our military budget. Lots and lots of money in the military budget. NA Bideford, I'm thinking bearish, no trading until Tuesday. That is a pretty nice timeline there. I mean, to like relax a little bit. It should give it some time to consolidate. Right now, if I was to guess, I would say most people are going to be going along here, just because we're at the 50-day moving average. But even then, if we have a bad day today in Wales, bears come back in and launch another attack, we're going to be going down another 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 points by the end of the day. It'll just be nuts. And hey, I'm happy to see you again today. BYD is backed by Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. Oh, that's pretty interesting to see right here. Well, I wonder what cars they have then, because I really haven't been focusing on them at all. BYD. Is it only one car? Oh, it's luxury. Okay, that's why I'm not paying attention to it too much. I might have to toss some money in here because I have some money in a lot of different stocks, but when I tell you they've been just doing okay or not good at all, Lucid. Oh boy, I mean, when I say, thank God I can take that, thank God the government allows you to take losses off of positions, because I'm taking a loss off of this one. This one has just not been good. I've been dollar cost averaging this one for a long time. I think I stopped in like the middle of 2023, like back over here. And I think it's like, I think I'm down like $4,000 on this long right here. I'll be fine. I bought a lot of Amazon, Nvidia, and stuff last year, so I'm still profitable. But my more speculative bets like this, they did not turn out the best here. Bunch of dollar cost averaging, nothing really going on. I'll hold it for a long time though. But look at this daily chart. I mean, talk about a loss of confidence. You come over here to, I'll look at that car in a second, Finviz. Down another 7% today. Income this is bleeding through money here. Short float 26%. Downgrade. Back in November. Tumbling production deliveries. Lucid's quarterly EV deliveries beat estimates to cap a volatile year. Lucid announced Q4 production deliveries. Let's see. The worst investment idea for 2024. Lucid stock. Yeah, so there's some issues going on right now. There's definitely some issues. I think right now this is going to turn into a short squeeze potential play. Maybe I'll be able to recoup some losses here. So I'm thinking of buying some $4 calls that expire somewhere out in July or something. But those are probably going to be expensive as hell. But yeah, that's not looking good. Yeah, the sell signal's all the way over here. It just went, whoop. Yeah, it's a travesty. Going back over here to BHD though, let me get myself a black car. I either like black, silver, or gray in between. I've never even thought about having a car that was not one of these colors. I don't know why. I've just never thought about it. They've never looked appealing to me. The inside looks pretty nice. Looks a lot like a Tesla. More traditional setup over here, which I kind of like. I like some traditional stuff in the cars as well. Oh, the Prindle. Interesting Prindle setup here. What's it doing? Lane departure warning. A lot of similar features that you see in a lot of nice cars these days. Nothing groundbreaking. Good car, good engine, flagship. 375 miles, 3.9 seconds, and premium. 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Why would the premium be only forward-wheel drive? I don't know. I'm more of an all-wheel drive type of guy. That's weird. That it might just be a speed thing or something. Limited BYD intelligence driving system capabilities. Complete. I'm so confused on how the premium is better than the flagship. Karaoke with friends. Karaoke is always a fun time. As long as I'm not the one singing. Looks like we may have an opportunity to pop here, guys. I'm watching closely. Might be fun to do a scalp here. Yeah. See. Let me pop over here. Let's jump it up to 50. Let's do another small position. I am not the most confident right now, so I'm just having these small positions here. Long. Okay, we're in. 500 bucks. We'll see where we go. It'll be a scalp though, maybe back up to 43,447. I'll keep an eye on it. Charlie Munger had Berkshire put in 275k in BYD. Now it's with 6 billion. BYD cars cost 10 to 30% K to manufacture. Space is the size of Manhattan. Oh, that's pretty nice. I wonder where they are making their cars. Because right now, my big fear when it comes to any car corporation is unions, because unions seem to be just whoosh, cutting those margins in half. And I don't even think in another 10 years, I don't think there's even going to be that huge mega factory in Texas. I don't think it's going to be worth it to make cars there anymore. He may be making robots that take factory jobs. It's going to just be an insane thing that happens down there. Because I think all those AI factories where they have like a lot of AI work in them, robots, whatever, and they have humans working with the robots, I think eventually the humans are just going to be phased out because, of course, robots are much cheaper. We've talked about this before when it comes to all the new McDonald's that are trying to have, like they have humans working there, but a lot less humans, just maintaining everything, making sure everything's working smoothly. Much more profitable for the company. A lot of upfront costs, but more profitable for the shareholders, which is why the poor are going to get much poorer over the next few years because they don't have access to the markets or they don't have the capital to hop in the markets. And with the inflation kind of staying bad or the value of the dollar getting worse, people aren't going to be able to afford much stuff. You know, the only way you're going to survive is by having some money in any market. It could be Bitcoin, it could be whatever, but you're going to have some money in the market there. BYD is Chinese. Oh, that makes sense. So it probably won't do too well in America there. They're probably going to put tariffs, slap that sucker, and not let it inside. Kind of what we're doing with Chinese aviation. I think China's trying to make some airplanes right now, but we're like, no, we don't trust Chinese airplanes. Stuff like that. What is this? Not too small for you, my boy. What do you call it? Yeah, I would. No, I mean, this thing would probably be fine. I'm fine with sedans. I don't like driving SUVs all too much. I like to when I was younger. Most of the time, if I'm like, yeah, I only drive in SUVs if I'm actually in an Uber. Like when I go to Vegas, I only get picked up by black sedans. But I have some, I know some people that do, private drivers and stuff. It's nothing against sedans, and I have a sedan, right? But when it comes to in Vegas, if you have a private driver pick you up and go places, they get to pick you up in front of the hotel. It's just a much nicer experience. When I go to Vegas, I hate going to Uber pickup zones. They kill me. They really do. It's a very first world problem. It's not as bad as I would probably make it sound, but it's something that I personally just cannot freaking stand. I'm working on getting solar panels on my house. One thing no party is doing is preparing electric grid for everyone to have an electric car. No. What do you call it? So, all right, when you're talking about electric cars and electric power and stuff like that, it's not about achieving results. It's about feeling good about what you're trying to do, right? I think the best way to see this is at a city level. No matter where you guys are living, you guys live in a city or a town or something like that, or you guys live, hopefully, I know some people don't, within a large city. You will notice that they will talk about these grand ideals and things, but when rubber hits the road and you see how it's implemented, it's not a good thing. I guess in America, for all like the outside people right now, we're having an issue with immigration. That's one thing where you see Chicago saying, all the immigrants come here, we're welcoming to you, we want you here. Then when all of them show up, they can't handle it. And now I think even in New York, this was crazy. They shut down an elementary school for a while, I guess, to house migrants. So now kids aren't going to be able to do their education because of migrants. I don't think it's going to last for a long time. I really don't, as far as like them not being able to stay in the school. But like the fact that it's gotten that bad is absolutely wild. And we're still kind of in the midst of winter. I think things will get a little bit easier as the summer rolls around. But like there's so many things where like there's good intentions behind them, but the actual effects that it causes on society are just not the best. And so it's going to be the same for like a whole host of things. You're going to give homeless people out here in Seattle, Washington. There's a lot of homeless people. What they've done is they've stopped trying to help them as much. And because so many people were mad about all the wasteful spending, because sure, help them, but a tent shouldn't cost like $500 per tent. A tent should cost like $50 to maybe $100 at a store. It's that type of stuff where everything seems to be very inflated and very borderline corruption, I would say. Because how could you charge somebody $500 for a tent? Only the government would pay such a ridiculous price. Those type of things have their effects, but like going back to the grid, it's just not really a focus. We're trying to transition, like think of the bigger picture. We're trying to transition away from fossil fuels. It's going to be okay. Trust us, we'll get it figured out. It is what it is. let's just hope we don't get to the time where we have to have rolling blackouts. I guess that's the way to look at it. Good. Did I hear a robot hurt Tesla workers employee in the news? Now a robot is attacking workers now? No, that was a long time ago. And it wasn't like the robot had sentience and attacked him. It was a malfunction type of thing. What do you call? You'll see a lot of those hit pieces out against Elon. And sometimes they're valid, but sometimes like that one, I don't really care too much about it. But yeah, good intentions. Well, you know, like, I understand having good intentions. Like, so I grew up around Tacoma, Washington, and Seattle, Washington. Tacoma's much more of a blue collar town, where when we're taxed more, we feel it. Seattle's more of a very upscale town, all liberal. It's all fairly liberal, but we have different kind of ways about viewing local issues. For instance, a few years ago, we had this huge statewide debate about these fees on our, when you register your car, like every year you get the tabs, there's fees associated with that, right? They without a vote, they tax on a huge fee for, it's called an excise tax or something. And it's basically meant to help with the new EV transitions and things like that, going to buses and making it so people are more likely to ride buses and trains and not drive, so to speak. But what they saw happen during the vote is that they added it on, but it was like a repeal vote. Seattle voted to keep the tax. Tacoma, surprisingly, because it is a very liberal place, they said no, not to do that. And so the state as a whole said, no, we don't want this on. If you want to put this on, you have to put it to a vote of the people. What ended up happening was everybody freaked out because, oh my God, where's all the money going to come from? Like, how do we fund all the transportation stuff? So the state Supreme Court got involved and said the vote really wasn't valid. So they kind of just dismissed the rest of the state's views on the subject. But like, sometimes you just gotta, it's a difficult thing to kind of manage, right? Like I said, in Tacoma and Seattle now, there's not as much openness to the homeless as there once was, just because the homelessness problems really blew up in our faces. And like, I'm much more sympathetic to being homeless. I grew up very poor. I want to see programs that help people get back on their feet, but I know that's an expensive thing that requires tax dollars, and there's only so much tax dollars it can take. Where it got to the point where now people are voting no against city school levies, like to raise taxes for schools, because they're so heavily taxed in other areas. Like, let me show you something here. Bitcoin's going sideways. There's nothing I can say about Bitcoin now besides most likely people are going to be buying here. Have your stop loss pretty close by, either down here at 41,500 or 42,500 basically. But if I go over here to Maps, Tacoma, dude, my computer's been running so slow lately, and I've just been hating my life because of it. If I go over here, there's a rougher side of the town. It's going to be the Martin Luther King Avenue. I can go there just fine, but some people, obviously have issues with it. But I'll go back over here. MLK. This right here, People's Park. This park just got cleaned up and it's a lot nicer, right? But for the longest time, they put all the homeless people in the poor people communities, right? The more poor communities. People don't like we're already poor. Why are you fucking us even more? People don't like that too often. But now what they've been doing in Tacoma and a lot of other parts of the town, I don't know if I can actually find that other avenue. There's a McDonald's over here somewhere. Oh gosh, I haven't been over here in freaking forever. State, City of Tacoma, Pulse Heart Institute, Medicare. Oh, here's the courthouse. Okay. Keep going down this road. So what they've done, you can't see it here because this is probably an old photo. They've been adding boulders all across the roads. Do they have them here? No. I mean, there's boulders here, but you can't see them in the pictures. That's a better way to say it. But basically, all this has just massive boulders. I don't even know where they're getting the boulders from. Is there a way to see this? you know, and then you have your $2,500, $3,000 apartments right there. Like that's gonna, you know, it's so hard to afford anything in the city right now. No, those are just boulders for like maybe a communal park or something like that. But that's some of the stuff you've been seeing happening. Seattle's of course much worse because it is actually like a real city. Like I said, like upscale city, really upscale small town in Bellevue, and then you got Tacoma, which is more blue collar. Like this is our downtown, right? A few buildings, but like literally, that's all we got. We're not like some big town where you have multiple large buildings. Basically, all the hills make our buildings look tall. But look, don't get me wrong, it's a nice place. I enjoy it. I usually feel fun enough to walk around, but I'm a dude, so you know, there's even bars and stuff over here. One of my favorite restaurants is down there. There's stuff to do. Yeah, I mean that's a way to look at it when it comes cheap labor and votes. Everybody wins from a political standpoint, right? Now the average person doesn't win too much, but you could say maybe a Democrat feels very good about what they're doing to help out an immigrant or something like that. You could say a Republican businessman feels really good because it's the cheap labor, you know. But you know, obviously, not everybody is a business owner, so there's obviously a little bit more madness over there. I haven't been into Tacoma in 2 years, but I remember there being a big homelessness problem with the drug issues. Yeah, they've been really trying to fix it. I will say it has gotten a lot better since COVID. But basically what had to happen was everybody got mad and we got new mayors. We got new city council members. That's honestly what happened. We flipped a few seats and we got the new mayor in there, and it changed a lot. Now, things are starting to tilt back down a little bit here. That's actually true as well. But they're trying to revitalize this area over here. There's a bunch of houses that have been cleared out, and basically, look at this. There used to be houses all over here. They're all gone. Pretty soon you're gonna see more apartments and stuff, but everybody has to park here for their apartments and stuff. Look at that. There's no houses over here. These people are all parked here to go somewhere else. It's a madhouse. But you know what? Eventually, I think eventually it'll be fine. But I think, let's see, T-Mart over here. Where are we at? People's Park. Wait. Is there really nothing on this road right here? Yeah, like right now, all of these are boulders. All of those are boulders right now. Everything along this road is boulder-fied. Because what happened was, if you were homeless, there would be tents over here, and legally the homeowner would not be allowed to get rid of them, which is, you know, crazy. If I keep going down this road, no boulders, no boulders. Oh, there, see. Okay, so you can see them there now, but this photo is old, so you can't see anything. It's very weird how Google Earth works, but you can see them all there, right? Not so much over here, though. That's interesting. Now, if I keep on going, see, just lots of boulders. There's boulders all across this area right now, too. Can I find any more boulders? No, yeah, there's boulders all across here. Why would only that part of road be updated, though? View 25, those are expensive as hell. But I think you get my point. Yeah, I can't find any more boulders on these roads. Well, at least from the pics, because I know they're there. But yeah, there's lots of different things going on, I would say. And hey, Matt, well, they've been doing the same thing in Portland? Yeah, Matt, my uncle lives in Portland. He's been telling me the same thing. Except I heard Portland was way worse than Seattle. I don't go to Portland all too often. When I do, I usually take the train, get picked up, go see some highs, and you know, I'm catching the night train back up to Tacoma or Seattle, wherever I'm staying at the night. But I always thought Portland was much worse than Seattle. But I'm hoping they're turning it around. I drove down there to visit my uncle a few years ago with my grandparents, and my grandparents were freaking out, and I had to make them feel okay. And I was just like, my grandpa was getting stressed out because people were coming up to the car. It was it was not a good experience at all for my grandpa. You know, like when you're talking about older people, like I thought it was kind of funny, but they were like, my blood pressure is getting too high. I need to take medication for this. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, it's a different thing. It's a different thing as well. Let's see. No, lower question. I wish it was easy to solve the homeless problem. If you go out anywhere in Tacoma, like here, apartments.com. This is where I go and I know I'm looking for apartments. Like I used to live right here. When I was first doing my Dogecoin streams, I lived right here. Is it? Yeah. So I lived in this place. It was very, very nice before Target bought it. I lived here before they was bought up by a corporation. You know, but you got floor plans. I lived not in the studio. Not in the studio. Not in the studio. Yeah, I lived in this one bedroom right here. It was so nice. So it's like an old school luxury there. So you have your kitchen, your bedroom, your walk-in closet. You have like 4 fucking coat closets. My bedroom didn't even look like this. They have like this closet right here. The closet's not there. Like there's a doorway from here to here. That's the doorway into your room. And the closet is right there within the actual bedroom. So you have like a coat closet, this closet, you have another closet right here, you have another closet right there, a lot of freaking closets. But this used to be a hotel that's been remodeled into an apartment complex. You have your bathroom, you have your dining room, your living room. Damn, that would be a good way to have a living room there, actually. I never thought about placing my TV on the wall right there. My TV was in the corner because the glare was so bad. And then there was this one bedroom over here. Oh, that's the same one bedroom. Yeah, the fact that they have the building like that is hilarious, because that's not how it is at all inside. But you had views of the water and everything. Maybe I can pull out a picture of the water view. Yeah, it looks kind of like this. Right, so a beautiful view. You're next to like a mini castle. That's a high school, so you kind of feel a little bit more safe there. In fact, there's my car right there in the picture right there. There's my car. So a very, very lovely place. But you know, for an 840 square foot studio, you're paying like $2,000. You know, when I lived there, that studio cost about like $1,100. Does that explain how fast rent has been going up? Unavailable floor plans. 2-bedroom. Awful studio. Oh, these are actually small. I don't know. Oh, that's $2,000 for the 1-bedroom. Never mind, not the studio. Sorry. I don't know why I thought this was studio. There's no studios available. But yeah, even when I was living there, I think I was only paying like $1,500, $1,400, yeah, $1,500, something like that. And that was for a unit pretty similar. 32, no. Yeah, pretty similar in area. So it's no, actually, mine was actually over 1,000 square feet. They're a little bit different from each level, but it's just wild how expensive everything got. But going back over here to the map, let's say you don't want to live in the nice downtown area. Maybe you want to come out here to more of the ruggedy section of town. Let's just call it the ruggedy section of town. You know, here's the view one. This one's not anywhere close to downtown. I would not walk over here. You live here, you have to drive everywhere because there's nothing close to this at all. Okay? But it is a new place. A studio, a 700 square foot studio is going to cost you about $1,400. You know, if you want a 1-bedroom, that's 602. I like how the studio has more square footage than the 1-bedroom. Oh my God. That's about $1,500. But yeah, so everything's just expensive. You're getting, your money is not going as far as it once did. That goes back into that rent inflation. It goes back to rent inflation, which is still going sky high here, right? Higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. It's still very, very bad. And remember, prices aren't going down. They're just going up slower. So, you know, again, it's not a good thing. Oh my gosh, are we really going to roll over here? I really hope not. I really was optimistic that we might have something more bullish coming over here. Oh man, this is not gonna go well. Oh, alright, there we go. Never been to the Northwest. ND is as far as I've gone that way. North Dakota. I like North Dakota, but man, there's not much to see when you're driving on those roads. I've gone from Washington to Philadelphia, Philadelphia back to Washington, Washington to California, California to Texas. I've been in lots of places over time. That doesn't mean I've actually experienced them though, because I haven't been all too far, but yeah. Bring back Chaz for another peaceful utopia. Oh, dude, don't even. Chaz was horrible. I remember going to those protests. I was going through my monthly coffee pilgrimage at the time, where I like to go out and buy coffee beans from a couple stores in Seattle and try them out. There's a lot of like mom and pop brewers over there. So, oh, let me try your beans. Let me try your beans. Let me see what's good. Let me see what I don't like. And if I don't like it, I just give it to a friend and see if they like it. Because usually they will. I'm picky with my espresso beans. But like when they in Chaz, half the windows were bashed in and everything, and I was just like, geez, should I even be walking around right now? Because you know me, guys. I usually I'm not necessarily like made of money. I would say I'm pretty well off, but I usually will dress in a little bit nicer clothes, but not necessarily like flaunting wealth. But you know, back then, any type of wealth was just like, uh-oh, you don't want to be rocking around the streets. You know, somebody steals one of these rings or this necklace, that's, you know, a couple $1,000 gone just like that. I figured the market would crash. Do you think it will dump further? Over the next few weeks, you should see Bitcoin continue to come down more and more and more. It's really just because of CPI, in my opinion. That's the #1 leader of this. But yeah, I would say it's most likely going to go down more over the next few weeks. It may actually have a pop over the next few days and things might get a little bit better. But for now, we don't really know. Am I happy the Seahawks fired their coach? Yes. Everybody's talking about why they fired Pete Carroll. Oh my gosh, why? He was not a good coach. I enjoyed him with Russell Wilson. Their combo worked. Without Russell Wilson, he got very lucky last year because the NFC West was trash. Like, you know, 49ers got injured. Cardinals was still trash. They're still trash this year. And then the Rams were very much trash because they had a lot of injuries. And so the Seahawks looked very cool and very good when in reality they really weren't. And I'm glad the Seattle front office actually saw how bad the team was relative to everybody else and how they needed to make a change. We should have moved on from Geno Smith a while ago. We need to get a new quarterback and things like that. We're probably going to be trading up for a quarterback, I hope, this draft season. I'm excited they fired Pete Carroll. I know he's still going to be like a, whatever you want to call him, advisor. Sure, let him go with honor. That's fine. I have no like ill will against him. But yeah, I do not want him as the head coach. We need to have somebody that's just a little bit better here, a little bit better. And he was not living up to my expectations. Like my expectations matter, but still, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, well, it was one of those rare things where Seattle became front page of the news, and usually you don't have the national media talking about Seattle all too much when it comes to like just day-to-day stuff. So I remember seeing all these news crews out there, and I was like, what the heck is going on? They were like covering us like we were a freaking circus. You know, because UT protesters, I was walking in a protest on the way to the gas station to go get a Gatorade. All of a sudden, I didn't realize that we were like at a tense spot, like they were protesting at a police precinct. I didn't get that because I was like, okay, gas station is right. Let me show you. Because I went there for a couple times, and there's a few different protests. One time I went there just for the fun of it to be part of a protest and see what's going on. The first time I was like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, I'll show you. And again, Bitcoin's not... Ever since I've been alive, Bitcoin's been not doing anything. It's been kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. Go over to Capitol Hill. You see this little park area? All right, so right here, there's a police precinct right here. See? Seattle Police Department East Precinct. And right here, where is that? Okay, I know it's here, but I just can't see it from the top. The park. Oh, they still got the fences up at the park. Wow. Oh, they might have gotten rid of the gas station. This used to be a gas station. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, that used to be a gas station. And so I was walking over here to go get some gas, and there was a bunch of protests over here, and I was walking through that little gap in the park over here, and basically as soon as I still got like halfway, the cops started popping off flashbangs and tear gas, and I was like, holy shit. back then I was terrified of it because I had no idea what the frick was happening. But looking back on it, it was just like, okay, it's a good story. It's a good story. But yeah, it definitely was an event. Let's just say that definitely was an event. Because they had Chaz here because you see this big park right here. It was all, you know, all being used. All this area was being used. It was pretty wild. Thank God it's over though. Yeah. Definitely a scary moment in my life right here. Ethereum's making higher highs. Bitcoin still struggling. Yeah. Both had some flushes today for sure. Ethereum definitely had that flush, really bad flush to the second half of the day. Hopefully Bitcoin can move back up. Ethereum has been much more volatile than Bitcoin, as crazy as that sounds, over the past week or so. So you might see that continue on with these day-to-day moves. But right now, it seems like there's just a hard ceiling on Bitcoin where they do not want this sucker to go back up. And hey, GT, Washington head coach just got the Alabama football job. I saw that. I'm a little bit sad about it. I'm not really huge on college football, but I was surprised that like he took the job, and I hope he does good. He transformed the Washington team. Like I said, there's no reason for me to have like ill will towards coaches in general. But like I hope he does a good job at over Alabama. I'm hoping Washington can get another good coach, because we've always been like, the state of Washington is much more a Husky place than a Cougar place. Cougar is on the east side of Washington State. It's the less populated side. So you see all these cities over here, right? Massive city. You see this huge suburbia link that we all have, right? Suburbia goes all the way down here. All this is where all the people live. This is UW country. Over here, less populated, you know, you're not looking at rural, like it's rural, right? You go over here. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Google Maps doesn't even bother to come out here. Isn't Google Maps anywhere over here? There we go, okay. You know, go to Odessa, right? Tiny towns. This is more of Cougar country. Nothing wrong with these towns whatsoever. I've been through a lot of them. They remind me a lot of the towns in Montana. You know, they've just been kind of hit hard through, you know, just the way the economy shifted over the years. Let's just call it that. I'm not entirely sure. They got their main streets, and that's where you want to be. They got Napa, right? Napa, Odessa Auto Parts, Das Kraut House. For sale. What's for sale? Oh, I think the wood's for sale. Rolling Thunder. I have no idea what that is. You know, it's a main street. Little towns. Rarely will you have to come up here, though. You know, the big bank, you know. Lind, Wilbur. Let's go up to Wilbur, maybe? Irby. Okay, I haven't been to a lot of these places. A random road. There you go. Windmills in the no, that's power poles. Never mind. That's what you got. That's what you got. Yeah, that's not even a car behind him, not even a car in front of him. That's what you got. I mean, I enjoy fishing out here. I think it's great. This is where the Columbia River really gets kicking. You go all the way over here. I normally would go fishing on the Columbia way down here by Oregon. But if you want to take the drive across the mountains is the only difficult part. It's not even difficult, it's just tedious. I go over here to Vantage, I guess, a little bit, but beautiful. A different type of beauty, I grant you, but this to me is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Anybody that's going across the mountains, going over to Montana or Idaho, or you know, Pullman, Washington, everybody takes this highway up, gets on the bridge over here. There's some horses or something, some horse overlook. I don't remember where it's at, but there's some cool horse thing over here. Oh, there it is. It's hard to see, but there's like horses things, like metal horses. Everybody comes up here, but if you've ever had the opportunity to ride a boat over here, it's awesome. Let me see if I can find a picture over here. Little towns, modern houses. A lot more of these modern houses across the mountains, but not so far from the sea. It's like a couple-hour drive. Is there any way to get like a picture of the river though? Maybe over here. Yeah, there you go. See? Isn't that just awesome? Even if there's not green all around you, there's a little bit of green out here, but even if it's not all the green, it still really looks nice in my opinion. I'm not a Bama fan, but who turns that down? Nobody turns that down. Nobody. Washington needs BUCCE since you have a lot of empty spaces. Oh, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I never pay attention to the gas stations really in Washington. You know, I pay attention to the gas prices, but not. Oh, Haley. What's the matter? Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Loki's over here asking for attention. Getting little head rubs. Yeah, that's the way you go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It kind of sounded like he retired because he only expects the best in himself and he didn't feel he could give it. Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, if you're not focused 100% on football, I think that's 100% valid. And you know what? He's had a great career. He's older. Let him retire in peace. Let him have a good time. You know, and plus, if you have a family member that's sick, I know, you know, you want to make sure you spend the most time with him as possible. Especially if you've been with him for so long like him and his wife have been. Let me see. Back up here. Over here, there's a cool place. There's the Grand Coulee Dam, if I could find it. Is that it? Coulee Boat Launch. Oh, where's the Grand Coulee Dam? Oh, so this is Coulee City. This is Grand Coulee. Yeah, okay, there has to be a dam somewhere. Yeah, the Grand Coulee Dam. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong city. Hydroelectric power. I always like this. It kind of reminded me of the Hunger Games a little bit. But basically, you can come fishing up until here, and you could drop your you could drop the line, and basically it just goes down, 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 and then something really big bites it because this is where the fish like to chill out because there's no motors and everything down here. They just hear a little bit of zzz, you know, from the other stuff. But then yeah, then we got all this other crap going down here. Really chill. But yeah, a lot of cool rivers. Can I go over here? If you guys ever go to Washington, there's tons of cool spots. This place is so big, but it just takes forever to get out to all the places. No, we got a lot of cool shit. That's why I tend not to go into the city that much. Except for Loki. Loki likes to swim, so he would jump off the dock, then freak out because there's no ground underneath him, and then he'll try to swim. Then you got to pick him up because he can't climb back up over this, which is why he has a doggy life vest. Some people say that looks stupid, but like, there's no reason he shouldn't have a dog. I would kill myself if he passed away or something like that because of it. Google search Buc-ee's gas station. Oh, I know what a Buc-ee's is, but it's just like, there are other versions of Buc-ee's gas stations out there, and I think we have some of those. I don't remember the last one that we got put in near where I live. It's somewhere over here in Fife. Where do I normally get off the exit? Is this the exit? Loves. Yeah, Loves is the one over here. Loves. Oh, well, you can see it being built. But yeah, a large gas station. It doesn't look like there's a view of it right now. Maybe if I go inside here. No, this is the old one. Yeah, this is definitely the old one. But yeah, they've made this into a huge thing. That's probably the only one I know of around me. But you know, there's not. Yeah, it is a main thoroughfare, I guess, you know. But I'm thinking of buying some land if I'm lucky over here by the mountains, or if I'm lucky over here. I kind of want to get close to the national forest, but I'm not entirely sure where I can go because I need to have good internet to be able to do YouTube and stuff like that. And all I want is land, no house. Then I want to buy a $15,000 mini smart house. I want to buy 2 of those, connect them together, live on there while I save up for a larger, modern elegant style of house where you have maybe a grand staircase or something like that. Really nice vibes to it. But that's a project I'm going to save up for a long time. I'm going to be living on that land for a long time and things like that. But you see over here, lots of little areas, you know, to go driving, hiking, taking your dogs and stuff. And then every now and again you have these small towns, and I just want to own a small house somewhere out here in the middle of nowhere. Stay away from the beaches. I'm not much of a beach guy in Washington. I enjoy walking the beaches, but living next to them, I could never. There's a Buc-ee's about 3 hours away, so we drove 3 hours to get gas station. That's what my family does. I mean, you know what? It's okay. It happens to everybody. We all want to go on a journey. As long as you're having fun, who cares, right? And at least you got gas out of it. Already to $UST. Let me see. I don't know how that's going to be any better than anything else here. Let me see. It's pretty much the same as Bitcoin right now. It's been breaking down below the 20-day moving average. It's at a support level. Technicals are very bearish on the daily chart. Weekly chart, is this fairly new? So we don't really have much data here. 4-hour chart, it's bearish. So probably not the best move here. Get ready for it to most likely flush and break down below the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. After that, you might see it try to look back to some support levels back down here around $60 or so. I think that might be an opportunity to buy it. Because Bitcoin's pretty bearish over the next few weeks, I'd be hesitant about really going long on it for extended periods of time. The way I'm looking at this is just looking for the opportunities to buy more and more. Over the next few weeks, you may see a death cross come over here, but since it's so new, we probably don't even have many examples of what that is. Yeah, the last death cross was over here, and we had a pretty nasty move down. Yeah, it's not looking the best right now. A 2-hour chart, is anything fixing up here? 2-hour, you might have a little bit more of a hook coming, but it looks like all it's going to do is make a lower high here. And then that's going to buy it some time just to kind of wait to see what Bitcoin's doing. If you want to be concerned, I would just be more concerned if it starts breaking down below $65. That's when we're like, uh-oh, we might actually break down and start going back down into the 50s. But it's kind of nice that you have this long consolidation here, because it's trying to use portion of that as a support level from way back over here. So at worst, over the next few weeks, you might just come back down to $45, which is a lot, but you know, it's not like a, you know, oh my gosh, all my money is gone type of move right there. Definitely looks a little bit more bearish. We're coming down again. My gosh. This is the Bitcoin 1-minute chart here. Bitcoin 5-minute chart. Just not able to hold up here. This is absolutely brutal right now. Look at the daily chart right here. Coming back down to test out the 50. Let me open up the 5. Let me go over here. Let me just toss the other moving averages off like we did earlier. Let's just pop this back over here and make it to the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, we broke down below it, but we managed to break back up. Can I entice you? There you go. We have that whole line there. We tried to hold it last time, wasn't able to. We closed back above it, which is nice. They are really trying to push us down here. So that means that the Ordi one right there is probably going to be heading down a little bit more too. Hey, Earth Radio, happy to see you back. Yeah, if you guys have time, check out the radio. It doesn't matter to me. We're not even talking about much about crypto stuff because all of a sudden Bitcoin's finally starting to make a move, but it has not been for a while. I remember you were still planning to move out of the USA. Oh, I already have enough money to move out of the United States. For me, it's more of how do I get my dog out there? I will not leave Loki back here. And like my entire opportunity, not opportunity, my entire, what do you want to call it? Like my wish to go out there, opportunity, whatever you want to call it. It's like, it's in jeopardy because I can't find a good way to get my dog out there. And I don't want him to fly. I will rent a boat if I have to get him down there. Not like me driving, but like a private luxury boat that would cost me like $10,000. I would pay that to get him down there with me. but I have to be very careful about where I move, because I wanted to move down to Ecuador because I love the cost of the apartments. I have a few friends that live down there. They say it's very nice, but all of a sudden over the last few days, boom, pop, cartels explode, killing people, taking over prisons, raiding news stations, just crazy, crazy stuff. This is Ecuador shows really. I just wanted Ecuador. Right, Ecuador shaken by days of terror after gang leader's disappearance. Ecuador TV station raid journalist who had gun to his neck live on air. Not the type of stuff you want to see if you move into a new place. But if you talk about Ecuador real estate, they got some really chill places. You go over here. I've been looking at places for a while. Residential lease over here. Let's do a maximum price of $1,000. It's not the best, but you know, it'll be fine. So let's go over here and also make it so we want to have a view of the beach and or the ocean. All right. Studio apartment with a pool, $350, right? This is a small studio. You get a view. It looks fine. I would never live here because I need something more than a studio, but you have it if you want it, right? Some people only want to spend a certain amount of money when they go abroad because they want to save up a lot of money. Oceanfront rental long-term lease available in Salinas. This is $1,000. I like Salinas. Remember, you get the views of the water. I like this, but I'm also kind of scared that Loki might try to do something stupid like jump off of that railing right there. So I probably want a condo without a ledge, if that makes sense, without a balcony. But yeah, see, it's fine. It's fine. $1,000 for all that. I'd be perfectly happy with a view of the water like that. So I would probably just keep those doors closed at all times because of my phobia of Loki jumping out. You know, but now I'm looking more into Panama, Nicaragua, but even Nicaragua would have some issues. I might have to just move to Panama, or I might just not move at all, and I might just go on long extended vacations out there where I leave Loki here for a month and I'm gone for a month, but I know he's being watched by my sister or something like that. That might be the best I can do. Or unless I become like a freaking millionaire bajillionaire, I can just have a private jet take us places. But at that point, I won't really care about the saving of money and things like that. Although I was thinking about a couple islands in the Caribbean, but you know what? I would like to live on an island for maybe a month, 2 months. Longer than that, I'm kind of pushing it as far as me being in a, you know, on an island. You're stuck there. It's not going to be as much fun for sure, unless I go to like an all-inclusive resort or something. But I'm not living in an all-inclusive resort. Right now, you're seeing Bitcoin still test out that 50. Nothing really crazy has changed here in the last few minutes besides testing that out. Hopefully, we're able to hold, but you can see that support level right there. Oh my God, it's been insane in Guayaquil, Ecuador. But yeah, exactly. I was looking at some condos over there. Those condos are much nicer because it's actually like their main downtown hub. It's a cheap place, my man. You want to check out VRA? Let me see. I don't know if I have a chart about this. Bybit? VRA KuCoin? There we go. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it really hasn't been pumping up all too much. Let's see. Bull market, it kind of ran up around 16,000%. That's fine. So far, it's ran up around 169%. If it goes back up to all-time highs, it'll be up around 4,000%. Yeah, it just seems not to be getting the same traction, probably because altcoin season hasn't come around a lot. This might be something you're more likely to dollar cost average. It is bearish on the weekly chart right now, though, so that's not good. You're probably going to see it glide back down even more. Hopefully not back below 0.004, but a little bit above that. And that might be a good opportunity to buy towards the lower end of this order block. But as far as why it's not doing better, let me drop this off here at the 5. kind of watch to see what happens with that 50. And then we just looked at VRA. All right. Veracity. Okay, it has a small market cap, so a very, very small market cap. That means it'll be moving up and down quite a bit, obviously. Okay. The new standard in transparency through the VeraViews ecosystem and Veracity's patented BOV module, which is from the black box ad fraud industry. Digital advertising and payments. They are still posting. They got into Forbes. Look to be fine. They seem to be quite active. It seems like just you gotta hold and wait basically to see how much money you can make from it. And we're still testing out the damn 50-day moving average. Wow. I will put this back on chart here. Let's go back to open this one up. And this one up right here. Daily charts. We're definitely trying to get pushed back down. So how's the rest of the market reacting with this though? So Bitcoin's getting a little bit more bearish, of course. Looks like we're trying to push it down a little bit. But right now you're just hoping to make a higher high. No matter what happens, you just want to have a higher high. You do not want to break down again below 41,500 basically. Ethereum is doing a good move. I know somebody was just talking about Ethereum pumping. Ethereum looks just fine. Bitcoin does not. It's like going the direct opposite direction here. Do I have any thoughts on the car market? I need a new car, but the prices are still high in my opinion. I was just wondering what you take. I would not buy a car at least until this summer once things cool off quite a bit. Used cars are still really expensive. New cars are still really expensive. The way I would honestly look at it, like, is I can't really time when things are going to get exactly better. You know, preferably closer to the end of this year in December when you're going to have a lot of sales. Like, you know, it's almost the end of the year, everybody's trying to get rid of those cars. And then on top of that, we might have had maybe 1 or 2 rate cuts. I think the people are pricing in 4, but I'm thinking just 1 or 2 here. Or maybe it'll be 25, 25, 25, 25 instead of like a 50 rate cut. But I think 25, 25 is basically what we're going to get this year. Unless inflation comes down a lot, economy slows down a lot, which at this point doesn't seem like the economy is slowing down much. Closer to the end of the year, make do with what you have if you want to save some money. You could always buy a car in cash, but like every few weeks I get a message from Capital One or Chase Bank saying, hey, Michael, you're pre-approved for a new car up to like $120,000. And I'm just like, cool, but this is not the right time to be buying a car, nor is my car actually like, you know, I have a 2012, 2013 car. It's still working fine. There's no issues with it. Although I do need some new tires, some new brakes. Yeah, I need some new tires and some new brakes on it. But besides that, those are easy things to fix. Yeah, it seems like it's just gonna take forever. Like if I go over here to used cars, Seattle, CarfaxCars.com, maybe that'll be fun. You know, 22,000 miles, $52,000 for a 2022 BMW X5, X-Drive, X4. There's no way. The way I view it right now, and I don't necessarily think this is maybe better than owning a car or worse. I'm really wondering if I do want another car in the future, if I shouldn't just lease it for 2 years, pay the upfront down payment on it, and just lease it. Because I look at this car like, let me see. Let me go to let me see. Okay. Minimum price. Oh, how do I do this? I'm not used to looking for new cars. 30 miles, used, all makes. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Body style. Let's say I just want a sedan that has automatic see, fuel type, gas. Conveniences. Let's not even think about conveniences, okay? A 2013 Ford Fusion SE. I bought a 2012 Ford Fusion in 2015 or 16, so a couple years old, 3 years old. I bought it for about $4,000. I think close to $5,000. It's gone crazy. Absolutely insane. And I know it's not good to like focus too much on the prices back in the day, but $17,000 for $15,000 for 2013, that's insane. So nothing to me like $18,000 for a 2014 Lexus at 102,000 miles. I like Lexus, but Lexus isn't worth that in my opinion. 2015 Ford Fusion, 55,000 miles, 14,000. Like, these people are struggling to sell cars off at this point. They're just struggling. So instead of giving you money there, like, you know, lease car Seattle. I don't know what type of brand of car you would like, but Honda of Seattle. Something's going on here. I might have to refresh the page. The website's kind of broken on my end here, so let me not try that. Let's go to Volvo. A classy, you know, Mercedes Benz. Oh, that I'm not gonna no. Wait, pre-owned, looks new, specials. Is it that hard to lease a car now? I can't tell if the websites are just kind of broken or I'm just not used to going down this road. And lease and finance specials. Right, lease this thing. I wish it would tell me what I'm leasing here. 2024 Sport. I don't need anything fancy. ES Hybrid LS. Oh, there's no lease on some of these. I just want the cheap car. I guess Lexus isn't just gonna have that cheap car. Well, why doesn't Toyota have the lease though? Oh, there it is. Okay, I just searched for a different way. Alright, 101. Oh, 4 for the Seattle's. Camry. $4,000 down deposit. 2024 Camry, $315 a month for a 39-month lease. You know, I might shorten it to 2 years or something like that. That may actually cause you the price to go up. But you go down here, 229, 2024. See if you can get a 2023 lease and see if that makes it even cheaper, below $200. You know, it just makes more sense. Now, you're not getting the fanciest car out there, but I've never been a fancy car. But if you wanted to, you can go up to the Highlander or, you know, the Camry or the BZX4, 4X, whatever. You know, you could. But I'm much more of a lease guy, at least at this point until rates come down. And if you want to buy a car, you can. But it just doesn't seem like cars are ever going to get cheap in the next, like, few years. This is the producer price index. It's coming back down.